Hello, my name is Emmanuel Vinas, and this is my user story, Managing the Profile. My user story states, as a user, I would like to have a profile page which I can access or edit information of my account so that other students or faculty can view my information. The acceptance criteria for this user story is be able to edit the account information and store it when done. The student is able to view their own profile, and other users can view this student's profile as well. The profile will retrieve information from the registration form and the resume form. And using students' email and password, students will have access to view or edit their own profiles. So if we look at my sequence diagram now, the registered user is any user that is registered in the database. So the profile view calls view profile, so it can populate its own fields, and the profile controller calls user from email to the user repository so it can retrieve all the information it needs in order to show the profile. If the email is not a member, it will show no profile and instead show an error. The user then has the choice to edit its own profile, which then calls a toggle edit, which changes a Boolean value and returns an edit page view, so it can show the edit page. And then the user from there can edit certain information, which I will explain later. From the edit page, the user can send the submit button, which will call the submit change, and then update the user field or user model. If it's invalid info, it will display an error, but if it's valid info, it will complete it, approve the alert. So let's check the class diagram to go a little more into detail. If we look here, the class diagram, this is the profile controller. The profile controller has the user model as a repository and a Boolean variable edit mode that toggles the edit view. Toggle edit simply toggles edit mode to its opposite value, and submit change simply gathers all the information needed or changed and then calls update profile, and the update profile in turn updates the user model. So now let's look at the actual logic. This is the script account controller. It is located currently in the code public JS controllers folder, and it's called account controller.js. This is the profile controller. The profile controller takes an authentication, a user service, and a subscriptions module. VM is a reference to this specific controller, so you can reference it in HTML using the new mustache notation. So the token takes the authentication and then gathers all the information from that Google account. So this sets the controller to have a picture, which is your Google picture, and the controller's email to be your Google email. So this sets the user type taken from the authentication, and this is simply the Boolean value I was talking about earlier. This is a call to user service. it returns the data. So I make a reference to UData, which is simply all the user data into this controller. And here, I just fill out the fields that are not filled out yet because the user might have not done the resume yet. The function toggle edit simply changes edit mode, the Boolean value, to its opposite value. If edit mode is false, which means they clicked save, the controller data gets the information from the HTML here, sets it to the user data, and then sends the user data back so it can update it using the user's email. Now if we look at the HTML right here, we have here the first header file, which is a mustache notation. Sub is a reference to the profile controller. So sub.userdata.fname brings the first name. This brings the last name. This is taking the source, the image source, which is our profile image, from the controller's picture variable. And under here, we are printing out the email right under the picture. So if we look here at class button, this is a button that when clicked, ng click, the controller will call the toggle edit method. And here I set it so that the button will say either save edit if it is in edit mode, or edit profile if it's not in edit mode. So these down here are me populating the fields that you see in the VIP profile. Sub.udata is getting the user data and then getting the user type. Now I really want to talk about this one right here, ng attribute content editable. And notice how I am passing in the edit mode. This allows, depending on the value of edit mode, allows this HTML to be editable. So far only the cell phone, the skills, and the user summary or about me are editable. Once it's clicked, as I showed you here, it grabs all that information, puts it into here, and then updates the model.